Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the girl Sammy with another Let's Talk movie video. So today we're going to be talking about the 2019 horror slash thriller film called The Platform. This movie did everything to just irritate me to my core. If you have not watched the video, like just as a disclaimer said, there is so many things that would probably trigger you. Is racism, there is people committing suicide, a lot of murder. So let's begin. So the movie starts off with some chef creating some really gourmet meals, right? And you have the head chef, I'm going to say, is there cursing, yelling, telling everybody to get things together. So we meet our main character Goring, and we see him waking up in a cell, right? The cell that he woke up in was cell 48. He meets an old man, right? And he's introducing himself to him, and the old man like told him to back it up. Like, you don't need to be over my side, stay over your side. And him ask him like, what is the pit basically about? And the old man was letting him know that you're basically here to just eat. Okay? The end goal is to just survive throughout this whole thing. Right? Each month you're placed in a different cell. Um, so each time a specific day, there's a platform coming down with food on it to each level. So you make sure that while it's there on your level, you eat as much you can before it goes down to the next level. The old man told him like you're definitely at a good level, right? Goring was trying to speak to the persons below, and the old man was like, no, they're not going to answer you. Like, no, you shouldn't speak to the people that below you because they're below you. So he's like, what about the ones above? And he's like, they won't talk to you because they're above. So the platform finally came down, and there was food. It was just disgusting because it was everywhere and stuff. And him look over at Goring and he's like, aren't you going to eat something? And he's like, yeah. And him just take up an apple and said, he's like, he'll save this for later. But the way the old man was eating was just sickening. And he's like, the platform is there for only like a specific time, so you need to eat as much as you can before it leaves. So while the platform was going down, the old man legit threw the bottle of wine down on the table, so it shattered and spat on the table and the food below. So Goring was like, why would you do that? And he's like, you think the people that are above us never did the same? So that shows you like they've been to show what they have been eating. And I'm wondering like, doesn't anybody get sick? Because this is just nastiness. So they're lying down, and the place suddenly starts to get really hot. And the old man told him like, it's the apple that you stuffed away, you have to eat while the platform is on our level. You're not allowed to keep food unless they will basically cook us alive or freeze us to death. So Goring immediately just threw the apple down, and that's how the temperature in the room got back to normal. So now we realize that there's certain rules. You can't store food, you only can eat while the platform is on your level, and that you are changed each month to a different level. Another rule is that each person before going to the pits is allowed to take one item with them. And Goring, his item was a book. The old man item was a knife, a samurai knife. He was like asking the old man like why was he there, and the old man was like, I'm telling you all of the information. You need to tell me. Like, you give me and I'll give you. That's how the relationship is going to work out. So Goring told him that he chose to come to the pit willingly because he was trying to quit smoking, and that he was promised a degree after his 6 month stay. So the old man was like, you're getting a degree after you leave here? I wish I was promised a degree. So I'm asking the old man like, why are you here? He's like, it was either here or a mental institute, so he chose there instead. That he was watching a commercial, right? One of those ads where you just see something and you think you have to buy it. Him see one of those for like a knife sharpener and rung a bite, and then immediately after, second ad, which was a knife that sharpens itself. He was pissed because like after I already bought this, you guys come up with something like this soon after, and he got angry, picked up his TV and threw it out the window, which ended up killing a immigrant. And Goring was like, dude, you know, you killed somebody. And he was like, he shouldn't have been there anyways. And I'm like, dude, there is absolutely no remorse. Like, you just didn't kill somebody because of a damn temple. Goring was asking him, like, do you know how many pits are there? How many levels? And he's like, the old man was like, he has been to level 132. So him don't think there is more than that. So Gory was like, does food reach to that level? And he's like, no, like after a certain level the food just stopped coming. So the people like from probably level 1 to about 50 are good. But people below 51 like really gonna have it hard. But after a couple of days of being in the pits, right? Going this like, you know what, hunger. So him just have to start eat, and him and the old man, him pick up the old man disgusting habit, like, you know, spitting the food at each other, and it was just disgusting to watch. But you know, the man needed to survive. They had a bed in the cell, a pipe with water, and I think like a little toilet thingy. I never seen any tissue. But I guess you have water so you can just wash yourself. Even while being there, the 1 month that he was there, Goring has seen so much stuff. We saw a man that did just jump through like the middle there, the where the platform comes through, and like you just see blood splatter, and Goring was just so shaken up, and he's like, yeah, it's normal, people do it all the time. And so Goring asked him like, how did you survive at level 132 if like after level 51 there is no food coming? And he's like, did you eat your roommate? And the old man played it off and be like, no, him survive off water. And something about like somebody had dropped in there, so like somebody who had committed suicide had fell into his cell, and like him and his roommate ate that person. So he's like, he didn't kill anybody, but he ate human flesh. One day, knowing that the platform came down, and there was this Asian woman sitting right in the middle, and Goring was like concerned, and he reached over to her. You know, she's hesitant, so she like backed up, and the old man's like, oh, you want to keep her for a couple of days? And I'm like, you sick. That's disgusting. So Goring was trying to reach out to her, asking her if she was okay and whatever, and she kind of, you know, just, you know, she was just there all silent. I think just him backed off and allowed her to be. The old man just ate, continue eating. So when the platform reached the other level now, the men them below grabbed her off because they were going to, yeah, they were going to do that to her. And Goring is up there screaming like, let her go, leave her alone. And the old man was like, go, just jump. It's like about 15 feet, you know, you probably won't die. And that old man is such an instigator. So Goring is there screaming, and him does hear like, you know, when he does those stabbing, gushy, really wet, bloody sounds. And then you see her just walked all casually back to the table covered in blood. So she just off the 2 men that tried to rape her on that level, and the platform just went down with her. She and Goring just looking at each other while the platform is going even lower. Throughout the month, you see him and the old man getting close, them talking, bathing, walking around naked, and all these things. So one night, them lay down now, and the old man was like, do you smell that? And he's like, that's gas. That means we're going to move. We're going to be moving to the next level. No, it's like the old man woke up with enough time to realize, oh shit, I'm at a sucky level, and tied up Goring, right? So Goring is there screaming like, you know, because they're at level 171. So obviously there's more level than 132, like what the old man said there was. So the old man is there panicking, and he's like, you know what? You know what's gonna happen? I'm going to keep you here for 8 days, and if like food don't reach down here within that 8 days, I am going to start eat you, right? And he's like, it won't kill him. Like he will leave all of the important stuff like his testicles and like his organ intact. Him will just eat enough flesh to keep him alive throughout the month. Like, dude, that does not make me feel any better. Like, I swear the old man was just ugh. So we see the platform come down the first day. It was completely empty. There's just empty plates and drugs there, and the old man just flash off the whole table, you know, 'cause he's angry like these effing pigs. They couldn't even leave not even a bone for him, right? So this continued to happen days after days after days, and you can see the frustration and growing on the old man's face, and he's trying to keep himself preoccupied, like he's there reading books, walking around, playing with his knife, and Goring is just there laying on the table, just dehydrated, because again he hasn't eaten or drinking in 8 days, guys. So and yeah, in basically in poo and in pee, like all of that just there is saturated. So you can imagine how stinky that cell was. So on the 8th day, the old man come to him and was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I tried my best to, you know, distract myself from the hunger, but I need to eat. And him grab him trusty samurai knife and started to stab at Goring and cut a piece of flesh. And as he was getting ready to eat it, the platform came down, and there was the Asian girl. She just grabbed a piece of butter and just slashed the old man's neck, and immediately the old man fall, you know, grasping his neck, and she untied Goring. The Goring just grabbed the knife and just started to the old man like over and over and over and over, and it was just so crazy. The the girl ended up giving him water, because I tell you he's severely dehydrated, and she started to eat the old man right then and there, like, and came over to Goring and like gave him piece to eat, and him just started to you know choke, because dude, we're eating somebody. She tried again to give him a piece of flesh, and him started to eat it, right? She left the next day on the platform going down, but Goring was there with the old man's dead body. I know, you know, because Goring is starting to see the old man. Like the old man, even in death, is taunting Goring, and he's like, oh, we're one now because I'm inside of you. And Goring had to actually eat this old man to stay alive. Like he saw maggots and stuff, but him just a pick on the maggots and eat the old man. And then it had me wondering, like, I know you can survive off water for you have about up to 2 months you can survive on water alone. They had a running pipe in their cell. You just know that you just have to stay still, just don't use up as much energy. But I think he could have survived by just drinking water alone. But I don't know what the writer was thinking. So the next level that Goring woke up to be was level 33, and the sigh of relief that came out of this man, he was like, oh my god, finally, you know. And his new roommate was a lady. Like that lady was the one that had interviewed him before he came into the cell, and I was like, why was she there? Him asked her like what was her reason to come there, and she's like, she chose to come there. And him asked her how much level, and she told him that there was only 200 levels that were there. And him tell her, said the food and what them must send on is not enough to reach those levels. And is that she told him if everyone ate what they needed, right, it would be enough to reach the levels below. And this is where I saw flaw there, because honestly, you have people from below, like lower level, like said the 132, food not reaching them none at all. So they're basically starving. What little fat they had is basically being used. So by the time them to even say them reach a level that food is actually reaching, the first thing that is in their mind, they need to eat up as much and store up as much as possible, because they don't know what next month, what level they would be at. So she made up her mind that she was going to eat today and her dog would eat tomorrow. Right? And yeah, she brought a dog there. Like, I don't think that was smart. That was kind of evil to the dog. But everybody's different. But I cannot understand you. I would have wanted to take my cat, because that's that one thing you love. But she never thought that. I'm guessing she never think that the place was that bad that you wouldn't want to take like an animal with you. The days after days, we see her trying to tell the people down below, like, I've shared out your portion, please to eat that and do the same below. And them cuss her out, call her all sorts of name, like call her out her name basically. Tell her to, leave them alone. So eventually, Goring just got really pissed and let them and just shouted to them and tell them, say, if you don't do what she tells you to, I'm going to, every time the food comes on, I am going to shit all over it and smear it over everything. So you're just gonna eat shit. And that's what got their attention. And she's like, she didn't want to do it that way. She wanted to, talk to them. And he's like, well, it's not working, right? Sometimes you just have to take that necessary step. So she asked him, like, what are we going to do about the ones above? And he's like, what can we do? I cannot shit up. So the Asian woman came down on the platform again, and she was really hurt this time. And Goring lifted her onto the bed, fed her some water, and covered up. And Goring was asking, like, why is she still here? Like, she's searching for her kid. Why do you guys have kids here? And she's like, no, no one under 16 is allowed in the pits. And this woman is just delirious, right? She's just a want to be actress, and she said some racist stuff that, like, I just disliked her immediately after that. She said some really terrible stuff about the Asian lady, racist stuff, speaking about her eyes. And anyways, enough of that. So Goring woke up to to his roommate, right? The lady crying her eyes out, and like sound of her fighting. She and the Asian girl was fighting because she ended up killing the woman's dog and eating the dog. And again, I was like, is this another racial stereotype? But again, she was eating people, so I'm trying not to think that way, but I feel like that was one of their low key jobs. So after a couple days of being in the pits, like the roommate, the lady who had interviewed Goring, said she honestly didn't know that she was subjecting people to this hellhole for over 80 years, and how much she regretted it, and blah blah blah. And she said she came there because she found out that she had some sickness, and it was really crazy. Like, she showed her chest and it was just, so she was dying, and she just thought that she would have just, tried the pits, but she never realized how really crazy it was. I'm like, So they never have cameras and I watch people. I'm sure there must be somebody who's enjoying this. Some, sadistic bastard who is enjoying watching people fighting for their life, um, over food at that, killing each other and stuff like that. But the movie Stranger never showed anybody like that. But I am guessing because the movie did leave a lot to the imagination. Now the month had ended, right? And they're at their new level 202. So she was wrong. She thought there was only 200 levels, and obviously there was more because Goring could have looked down and see it's still going on, right? When he looked over, she was actually dead. Like, I guess the guilt and everything, and knowing that she was dying, and knowing that she was the one who was sending people here, got to her and she took her life. She hung herself in his cell. So now Goring is seeing both the old man and her, and she's telling him that he needs to eat her body. That's why she never threw herself off and left her there so he can survive. And eventually he actually did started eating her to survive because the hunger got to him. I didn't see him attempt to even drink any water, but next month luckily Goring has reached level 6, and the sigh of relief that that man let out. His new roommate was a black guy. I honestly didn't think that there would be a black guy in the show, but obviously they were going to prove me wrong, and not even in a good way.
What do you want up here for?
Really? Brother, to escape this fucking pit!
Do you believe in God?
Yeah. I believe in God, of course I do.
This scene just irritated the crap out of me. I hated those people above. Like, why would you do that to anybody? And the fact that they tried to, it was just disgusting. I don't even want to talk about this scene. I really don't, because stuff like this really does happen. But I don't want to talk about it. So let's just continue. He figured it went up, and the they did that to him. Goring ended up saving him because they dropped the rope and him almost fell down and him grabbed him over and stuff. So by the time the platform came down and you look, the food was still intact. There was still pieces on the table that had not been touched because let's see, 5 levels above and 2 people each, so it's not much people. Goring, like, this would have been his last month, right, to basically be in that system. In 6 months would be up, right? So him think this is his time to change the whole system, like, and him try to persuade the black guy. Let's try to make a statement. There must be a way that we can help the people them below to get food. And the black man agree. Like, obviously he was going to agree. So their plan was to go down on the platform with the food and only give people the ration amounts, and try to make sure that everybody below get the food, because him said him been laying down while he was on the other floor and counting the stops them that the platform made, and I'm pretty sure there's just like about 250 levels there. So they mash up the bed and tear up some of the iron posts off the bed and then go down with the platform, right? So he's like, here's the thing, we're not gonna feed anybody on the first 50 level. Let's start feeding people on the 51 level, right? So while we're going down, you're just seeing them bashing people's head while they try to come to the platform to touch the food. Till eventually we meet this other black man who they want to perceive as a wise elder, right? He was in a wheelchair. Obviously the other black guy knew him, and he was like, "Is this what you really plan to do? Look at you standing in the food. This is not how you talk to people. Like, yes, force is needed, but you speak to them first, and that's if they don't want to comply, then you use force." The black man told him that you need to send up a message, and that message would be like one item that is so out of this world. Send that back up to level 0 to let them know, like, that is the message. I don't know why that would be the message, but that was the plan that was given to them. So by the time them finally reached down by level 51, they started to give out people food, like, here, this is yours, and people are so shocked because them down there, so them not expect no food for even there come that side. So you can imagine the surprise on their face. Some people did try to come at them and do it. I swear, I'm pretty sure they killed a good amount of people on their way down to the lowest level. Like, no evil. It's not like I look at top, like some bashing of head thing was going on. I mean, there's some heavy metal that may use. Another thing that I found out is that the platform doesn't stop on levels where persons have died. So him thinking that there was 250 levels, there was actually more than that. So every time it could be there. So the platform, when it reached down and there is nobody on that level alive, it just continue going. And we see people who had been burnt out, people who was eating their other roommate, just all sorts of crazy stuff. We see people with their items. Some people had surfboard. There was this one dude, like his item of choice was money. So he's basically a fool with money, because what good does that money do him? Him can't buy food, him can't buy anything that he really needs in there. Because even when he was given his ration of food, him legit just threw the money at them, and nobody did even bat an eye. Because again, what is the sense of having money in a place like that, right? They reached at a level where Goring actually saw the Asian woman being murdered by this man. Like, why is it so hard to talk about? We saw where he was her over and over, and Goring ran over to try to help, and the other roommate started to fight the black man. The black man got cut with a sword in his side, in his abdomen, and the other guy killed the killed the Asian woman started to beat the crap out of Goring. Like, there was blood, his head was being bashed, like just blood everywhere. The black man ended up overpowering the other roommate and killing him, and that's how him ended up kill the guy that was strangling Goring. And that was crazy. And even after seeing that the Asian woman had died, he was still trying to, like, he need to save her. And the black man was there like, no, we have to go, she's dead, just leave her. And the connection that he had gotten to her was really, like, crazy. I understand that she saved his life, so there was that little bond there. And it really did, it's like it hurt him a lot to see that she died, even though she was actually a murderer herself. Like, she was really just going around and killing people and eating people herself. But he was really connected to this woman. And they're just there on the platform, just bleeding out on the food. Cause like I tell you, the black man is bleeding. Goring is like just blood and spit and everything just running from his mouth. It was just so sickening to watch. And I'm like, you guys are still giving people this. But they still had the cake, surprisingly. That was supposed to be the message, was still intact until they reached level 333. There is no way in hell, even if everybody ate a portion it, that would be enough for them for that day. There's no way that amount of food that was on the table could have reached down to that level. It would be impossible. Probably if people eat like every 2 days, everybody could have get a chance, but the people not going to do that. So again, I think it's just some sadistic person just doing stuff like this to test people, or to just get rid of people, basically, because that was just evil. So while the platform stopped there, they're wondering, like, what is on this level. They thought it was actually the final level, because they didn't see anybody in the room until they looked good, and there was a little Asian girl hiding under the bed. And then it makes me wonder, like, was she the Asian woman's child? They said it was a boy, but probably not. Probably. I am going to check. The movie didn't state the relationship, if it was actually her child or not. So anyways, they reached out to the little girl, and immediately her eyes went to the cake. The black man hesitated. He's like, no, this is the message, this is the message. But eventually they gave up, and she got the food. Everybody fell asleep. When Goring woke up, there was the black man who was dead. Yeah, he eventually bled out, because he never even tried to cover the wound in any ways. And it was a serious wound, so him just bled out in the cell all quietly. Goring was still hallucinating. He's seeing the old man, he's seeing the lady, and he's also seeing the Asian woman. And what they were telling him basically was that the message was the little girl. They need to use her as the message. Make them realize, like, what is really going on down here. Hopefully the people them upstairs have a conscience, which in all honesty I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I'm pretty sure they knew that there was a child down there to begin with. but that was the plan, to bring the Asian girl, to bring her back up to level 0. They ended up taking the next platform down, him and the little girl, and that's when they realized like the lowest level was just like a empty room, just darkness, and he's there, just waiting to go back up to the top level, because each night the platform just shoot go back up to level 0. So while he was there on the platform, the old man visited him and told him like, you need to come with me. This is our stop. Like, so Goring is telling him that I am the carrier of the message. Carrier, like, you need to come with me. And here I was guessing that at this time Goring has actually died. And that was just his spirit going away, or Goring had actually gone completely mad and just decided that he was going to just go after that bottomless pit, like the ending, like there was nothing else there for him. And we see the movie ended like this. Again, it leaves you wondering like what happened when they saw the child. Did they actually do anything? Nothing like that. The movie just ended with her going off like that. I'm going to assume that when they saw a child, they actually was shocked and tried, and just ended the whole thing there after the whole pit thing. Or they probably just got rid of the child and continued doing what they're doing. And I probably think the latter would make more sense because they don't really seem to care about people. I'm pretty sure those people above know what's going on down there. And there's no way in hell that little girl just went down there on her own. So it's just one of those movies. How would I rate this? Probably a 3. A 3 out of 5. It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a bad movie either. It was an okay movie. Would I watch it again? Definitely not. I watched this movie 3 times and it was just irritating all 3 times. Especially the racist part was just too much. Seeing how disgustingly people can be with the food, and it was just nasty. Um, if you guys have watched this video, let's discuss it down in the comments. Don't forget to like my video, please to subscribe, follow me on all my social medias, and until next time, bye guys.